America was founded by immigrants.
Today, however, illegal aliens are a great and continuing problem.
Breaking news. America is under invasion. Congress has been staring at the sky, panicking over flying saucers, but they keep missing the real alien invasion happening right under their noses. Unidentified foreign occupants.
Well, how do you explain so many aliens crossing the border illegally every year?
I can honestly say that we are two men who are doing our jobs for the United States of America. Thank you. You're welcome.
This isn't even a new crisis. America has been deporting dangerous aliens since 1798. The Alien and Seditions Act, signed by John Adams, set the precedent. When in doubt, blame the immigrants. And no one proves this con better than Melania Trump.
No one values the freedom and opportunity of America more than me, both as an independent woman and as someone who immigrated to America.
An immigrant who entered America, worked illegally, and had an anchor baby before securing her citizenship in 2006. She is also unemployed, lives in government housing, and her parents chain-migrated. And yet, she married a man whose entire political career revolves around keeping immigrants out.
And I've learned a lot along the way.
But as Trump's 2.0 approaches, what will Melania's role be?
And when they went to the Queen to tell her her subject had no bread, do you know what she said?
Let them eat cake.
The media will try to Marie Antoinette her, just like they falsely attributed "let them eat cake" to the doomed queen.
Jacket. There was no hidden message. After today's important visit to Texas, I hope the media isn't going to choose to focus on her wardrobe, unquote.
Crowd who's out to change our history. I'll myself raise your hand. There's no greater dictator in the land.
Welcome, newly abducted followers. This is Juevos, and today we're exploring Melania Trump, America's queen alien.
Such nonsense. I would never say that.
And why, despite her silence, she is not to blame for the history unfolding before us.
Fight the illegal border crime. Superman! And how did you come to this great country yourself? Gott im Himmel!
Marie Antoinette, much like Melania Trump, was an alien in a foreign land before she too became its queen. Born in Austria, she was married off at 14 to the future King Louis XVI of France. An outsider dropped into power, much like Melania, who landed in America and floated her way into the White House. Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette beautifully explores the theme of girlhood in a gilded cage. But let's be honest, it's not a history lesson. It's a mood board, a pastel-drenched depiction of privilege, detached from the struggle of the masses. Coppola paints Marie's downfall as an aesthetic tragedy, a distant, distracted queen lost in melancholy and extravagant boredom while the country burned. And of course, the film dramatizes the infamous moment when Marie Antoinette supposedly uttered,
Let them eat cake.
But here's the thing, she never said it.
Alternative facts to that, but the point remains.
Wait a minute, alternative
that
facts?
This phrase is pure misinformation, traced back to Jean-Jacques Rousseau's Confessions in 1765, when Marie was just 9 years old and hadn't even been to France yet. Yet, history clung to the quote, branding her as the face of aristocratic ignorance. Fast forward to today, and the parallels are obvious.
Okay, we'll focus on how the administration has no plan to reunite the thousands of children it separated instead, unquote. My panel's here with me. Nia.
The left-leaning media will inevitably paint Melania as this era's Marie Antoinette.
Jacket, why did no one say, maybe pick one of your other beautiful coats, Melania? I just don't understand.
Maybe it's a moment of true candor from her. I mean, this administration doesn't care about these kids.
But is it really fair to blame the queen for the actions of her king? You cannot blame first ladies for the president's actions. And if anything, left-leaning media has very interesting depictions of a first lady dealing with her husband. Here's a very clear example of Michelle Obama played by Viola Davis.
What about John McCain, Mitt Romney?
Probably not.
Yeah. You know why? You're running for president of the United States?
My newly abducted followers, that was not a comedy or a parody. That was a straight depiction of Michelle Obama. I wonder what they're going to do to Melania this term.
All with you, Melania.
Now get out there and do what first ladies have always done. Stand there and clap.
Okay, but sometimes I'm going to sit down and not clap.
From all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell.
My father was a coal miner who was killed in the mines. And my husband and me was in the strike in the 30s in bloody Harlan County. And I do mean it is bloody, too.
There is a widely misattributed quote to John Steinbeck. Socialism never took root in America because the poor don't see themselves as an exploited proletariat, but as temporarily embarrassed millionaires. America sells the dream that you are just one lucky break away from being rich, so you never stop to question why the rich keep getting luckier.
I have an announcement to make. Suck my big black. I won the lotto.
Statistically, you will not be a millionaire.
Millionaire! And I don't have to sit here anymore and listen to your bull, you crazy.
But in America, the belief that you could be is enough to keep the system running. And yet, when it comes to Melania Trump, the actual exception, she will be blamed.
And I didn't have much support. Maybe some people, they see me as just the wife of the president.
During Trump's first term, as his administration separated migrant children from their parents, Melania was forced to take a media tour to soften the image. The famously quiet First Lady chose to speak not with words, but with fashion, her one truly fluent language. And her message? Loud and clear. I really don't care, do you? The media erupted. How could she be so cruel? But her cruelty wasn't accidental. It was a calculated reflection of the very system that Americans have built. She became a mirror to the masses, a symbol of the American dream turned inside out.
I have been fortunate to see the American dream come true over and over again.
Blame Melania all you want, but this isn't on her.
Child in Slovenia, which was under communist rule at the time. I always heard about an amazing place called America, a land that stood for freedom.
This is on Americans who needed aliens to blame and a distraction from the real architects of power. This type of blame game towards aliens can be seen very clearly in Scorsese's The Gangs of New York.
There, Mr. Cutting, Americans are boarding.
I don't see no Americans. I see trespassers, Irish hops who would job for a nickel what a for a dime and a white man used to get a quarter for.
Where nativists fend off against the dead rabbits, immigrants who had recently come to America. The backdrop being the drafts of the Civil War. America isn't being invaded by immigrants, it's being looted by a ruling class that owns everything and answers to no one. And this ruling class is doing it from a modern Versailles, Mar-a-Lago.
Multi-chandelier Donald J. Trump ballroom to gold.
The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 was the first major U.S. law to explicitly restrict immigration based on race. It was signed by President Chester Arthur, and it set a precedent. When the economy struggles, when the working class suffers, blame the aliens. The Irish, the Italians, the Chinese, the Mexicans, not the ruling class.
Can you find the wolves in this picture?
This cycle repeats while the real architects of inequality, the billionaires, the policymakers, the corporate elite keep hoarding wealth and power, floating above all the chaos like modern-day kings and queens. We are entering Gilded Age 2.0, and if history tells us anything, blaming the queen is a distraction.
No, generally speaking, first ladies, they've been out of line for a good 25, 30 years. I gotta give it up to the Bushes. They had their women in line. They did. Barbara never said shit. She smiled every once in a while. She threw something in there. George W.'s wife, I don't even know her name.
Because the real alien invasion isn't coming from the border. And while Congress stares at the sky looking for threats, the real UFOs, Unified Finance Oligarchs, are already here, running America like their own personal kingdom in the gilded halls of modern Versailles. And Versailles fell because its ruling class thought they could rule forever. If history is any guide, no golden tower, private golf club, or gated community lasts forever.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, and dictators die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish.
Thank you, my newly abducted followers. This is Juevos signing off. Stay runny, stay funny.
You mother. You. For the record, you're the second person to come in and tell us to suck your black.
Who else did?
Huh?
Surprise, motherfucker.
¡Toma ya! ¡Ángel,